A massive update for Diablo Immortal is incoming. We've known that Diablo is returning to Diablo Immortal for quite some time now, and it is officially being announced here today in the North American patch notes for Diablo Immortal. There is so much to unpack here today. We have so many new things coming to the game, and I want to share with you guys. I'm going to be reading you through everything. There's a trailer here on the blog post. This is actually the wrong trailer. So while I'm kind of taking you through the initial changes here, I'm going to be showing you the true trailer that we should be watching, which we're going to kind of watch here together. I will be muting it, but I'll be reading through all of the patch notes while we're watching the background imagery go on. I mute it because all these things always throw strikes on my videos. So unfortunately, we can't use the music inside of them, owned by Blizzard or NetEase. So let's get into that and take a look at what it all looks like while I read through. All right, so they say that in our last content update, you prepared for the Lord of Terror's return with a new limited time event, balance changes for some classes, and updates to many features. The major update introduces the Shattered Sanctuary main quest, which will see you gather allies and sail to the icy north to contest a horde of demons pouring into your world of the behest of Diablo, Lord of Terror. You carry justice itself with you in the form of Eldruin, that sword that we've been holding for quite some time now, the sword of the Archangel Tyrael. But to have even a chance of defeating Diablo, you'll need to disrupt his armies, push back his lieutenants, and dismantle a truly diabolical weapon that lies in the heart of his plans, deep in the crater of unmaking. Now, this update is going to be coming for us on December 13th for servers in North America. The maintenance has been concluded. We'll be able to dive in live. I will let all of you know, and I will be posting this live stream probably today as an upcoming event. I will be live streaming the entire update on Friday when this actually drops. That's only 2 days away from today. We're going to be getting this massive update. Diablo is going to return. There's going to be new events inside of the game, changes to the game, and there's going to be new content in the form of new dungeons. We heard things about familiars. We'll see if that actually comes to fruition. And we're going to have a new campaign mode where we're going to meet Diablo, which is going to be quite nice as well. I'll take you through all of that stuff when this actually goes live on Friday. Make sure you tune in for that when the time comes, because it is going to be a great event. We've been waiting for this for a really long time. That'll be on the main page of my channel if you want to make sure that you don't miss out on it. You could set a reminder. All right, now, lots happening. Look at all these different things that are coming to the game. Let's start with one thing at a time. A Fated Duel Shattered Sanctuary main quest. This is the Diablo main quest. For all of you lore heads out there, or PvE people out there, or campaign people out there, this is for you. Shattered Sanctuary is the next chapter of the main quest for Diablo Immortal, available to those who have completed the Crucible of Justice quest. Eldruin, the Sword of Justice in hand, gather your allies and sail to the ravaged land in the far north. Here, at World's Crown, you can face Diablo in a high-stakes duel for the fate of Sanctuary. We're getting a couple of images here of what things actually look like. And as you could tell, it does seem to have some of those graphic improvements you can see from the actual water effects, the glistening. Shattered Sanctuary is the next chapter. Oh, all right, we already said all of that. Okay, cool. Next, we're going to go on to, but before you can clash against the Lord of Terror, you must first fight through a vicious legion comprised of demons, cultists, shardborn, and the maddened. All of these enemies are coming together to fight beside their Lord of Terror. The latter were safe fearers and seasonal visitors to the World's Crown, and were amongst the first to gaze upon Diablo's visage and spiral into insanity. Now they're indistinguishable from monsters. If you are unable to hold terror at bay, all of Sanctuary will be unmade. All right, so we got the World's Crown right here. It seems like there's a lot of liquid effects going on inside of this zone, like molten blood or whatever it may be. World's Crown is Diablo's Immortal's newest zone, and the largest one to date. So we're going to be getting the biggest zone that we've seen yet. A vast snowy landmass in the far north, besieged by legions of terror as Diablo attempts to fuse Sanctuary with the burning hells. It includes new bounties, 7 subzones, and a safe zone, and unique wanted monsters. I wonder if these are going to be monsters that are returning to Diablo from previous games. That would actually be pretty amazing if it were. Loving this, and I'm really liking that they are adding new bounties. That's a big deal as well. Loving that because the bounties have been the same for quite a while right now. All right, relieve your cinematic clash against the Lord of Terror with friends, or relive, I should say. Once the dust is settled and the sanctuary quest is completed, you can relive the moment of glory against Diablo as a replayable challenge. It's not saying a dungeon. Gather up to 4 brave souls and dare to confront the Diablo who wields the force of the burning hells alongside the reality warping power of the Worldstone Shard. Should you survive, Eldruin inspired cosmetics, set items, and more will be your rewards. So this is looking like we're going to not only have to fight Diablo, but a Diablo that has shards of the Worldstone, which is going to give him enhanced powers, which are reality warping powers. Pretty exciting stuff. So that's going to be a new zone, biggest one to date. It's replayable with parties of 4. We're finally getting to fight Diablo. I anticipate this is going to be a big playthrough and not just a quick 10-minute playthrough. Let's cross our fingers for that. Crank up complexity in challenge dungeons. We've seen a little bit about challenge dungeons before. It's going to be a way for you to have a more difficult time in the dungeons, but also be rewarded with enhanced rewards for that difficult time. Dungeons just became more rewarding and dangerous. Shattered Sanctuary introduces boosted versions called Challenge Dungeons, which are higher difficulty versions of all Diablo Immortal's existing dungeons. When you begin a challenge dungeon, you'll be assigned 1 to 2 random dungeon modifiers such as pools of magma, increased monster speed, or bonus globe drops. Your first challenge dungeon completed each week will provide a chest with a guaranteed set item. And all challenge runs will have a higher chance of dropping potent rewards. So we can get better rewards, and we get an extra set item weekly, not monthly as we initially thought. So you're getting 4 extra set items per month, not massive, but still extra greens that we're always looking for, and better drops potentially throughout. All right, so now we have a lot of different changes that can be coming here. Monsters have 500% more life and deal 200% more damage in challenge dungeons, so approach with caution. Wow, they're 5 times stronger and 2 times more damage they enforce. Here are the possible forces of hell that can be unleashed during the challenge dungeon runs. Big problem, enemies are larger throughout the dungeon, the player size is decreased, and bosses will continuously grow over time until they enrage. Laser, enemies fire beams of energy at targets. I love that they're adding these changes, by the way. Bad blood, enemies may leave behind a pool of blood after death that will slow and damage players. Bolstered, some non-boss monsters have an aura that increases movement and attack speed of nearby monsters and gives them a shield. Rain of fire, fireballs occasionally fall from the sky, leaving burning areas that will damage the player. Sacrificial power, skills have greatly reduced cooldowns but cost health. Ooh. Lava eruption, lava periodically erupts beneath the player. Speedrun, completing the dungeon within a limited time will grant you bonus rewards. Swarming, the dungeon has more normal monsters throughout. S-Class, the dungeon has more elite monsters throughout. Gauntlet, the dungeon has no normal monsters and bosses are stronger. Interesting. Heightened senses, monsters sense players more easily and have greatly increased movement speed. Conjurer, some monsters and bosses summon doppelgangers. Bountiful, combat globes drop more frequently, and greedy spoils skip directly to the final boss. The difficulty is increased. We already have seen that where we go right to the boss. Dungeons like that, definitely going to be more challenging. For some of you really high combat rating, high resonance players, maybe a little bit more of an exciting thing for you and better rewards as well. We're going to have to get our hard carries through there as well for some of the people that are not strong enough but maybe still want that gear. All right, we have some new Heliquary bosses as well. We knew that with the new Inferno difficulties that were incoming that we saw leaked and teased and brought over in China, that we were going to also get Heliquary bosses too. So we have, and I kind of went through this in a previous video, so I'm just going to quickly share with you that we have Vagmarik the Tormentor. We have Mulgist the Molten. and Desabre Sovereign Shade. So it looks like we have 3 new Heliquary bosses incoming. Now, to get to the first one right here, you need to defeat, when you defeat this boss, it unlocks Inferno 5 and the ability to oppose Mulgust the Molten. So then you can come over here and go through this one. But first, actually, you have to complete, let's read up here, defeating the Morsagai, the finisher's run from the last group of Heliquary bosses. That's how you're going to be unlocking Inferno 4 right there. So make sure the current most difficult Heliquary boss you defeat so we can unlock Inferno 4, which apparently we're going to be able to unlock Inferno 4 on Friday. And then to unlock Inferno 5, you have to beat him. Inferno 6, you have to beat them. And then you could actually have this one, which will eventually, over time, most likely unlock Inferno 7, unless if they change how the whole system works. So happy to see that we're going to be getting new Inferno levels. Again, make sure you're saving all of your legendary items, your green items, for that next Inferno difficulty level, because you want to be able to swap your gear out and have as much of that in storage as you can to prepare. Topple Hell's creations in a Heliquary Gauntlet. The Dreadbirth Heliquary bosses have been added to the Heliquary Gauntlet lineup. With the next, when the next season begins on December 13th, you can earn legendary items, set items, and new Molten Raptured Soul armor, weapon, and portal cosmetics if you have the endurance to topple the foes. Love that they give cosmetics for being able to take down these big challenges. Nice free cosmetics that people can get even if they don't want to be spenders in the game is definitely a win. The Terror Ascendant limited time event. Sanctuary reeks of terror. Since Diablo's return, fear permeates the ground its subjects walk on, taunting them with eternal doom. You must cleanse the air by completing the Terror Ascendant tasks from the 13th through the 27th. To earn champions commendations, these can be exchanged for rewards. What is this event right here? It's simply getting rewarded for doing things that we already do inside of the game, probably inside of the new zones, maybe. Either way, we get rewarded for doing stuff and we get more rewards to progress our account. Not a big deal event, but definitely welcome for sure. Days of Demon Spawn limited time event. This is going on from January 1st through January 15th. Again, daily and weekly days of Dawn Spawn tasks to earn rewards, Ruins, Moonlight Flora, and Aspirant Keys. Again, another event where we're doing stuff inside of the game and getting rewarded for it, so some more daily tasks. Now, we've spoken a lot about the new legendary gems that have come into the game, or that are coming to the game on Friday. We have a 5, a 2, and a 1-star gem. The 5-star gem is called Golden Firmament. Now, keep in mind that these are the details that we're looking at here are them at rank 10. This is a maxed level gem. So if you're looking at the Golden Firmament, a 5-star gem, most average players will not ever be able to get to max level where the stats are as we are seeing them here. Keep that in mind. 1 and 2 stars, more likely that we are able to get them there. Let's see. Golden Firmament, dealing damage grants you Ascendance for 6 seconds, increasing your evasion rating by 12% and causing you to unleash 3 blasts of wind at random nearby enemies every second, dealing 110% base damage, plus 486 to enemies they hit. Enemies struck by multiple blasts have a 75% reduced damage from subsequent hits, cannot occur more often than once every 20 seconds. And then it shows you the Resonance gems as well. I don't particularly remember them showing that kind of stuff in the past. So those are the ones that you're going to need when you open up Resonance. The 2-star gem is Mercy's Harvest. Damaging enemies below 30% life conjures a scythe-wielding Reaper to cleave through nearby enemies, dealing 145% base damage, plus 587 to enemies within the area. Additionally, enemies slain by the Reaper increase your damage done by 2% for 30 seconds, stacking up to 6 times. This can't happen more than every 6 seconds. I actually really like Mercy's Harvest. It seems like a very powerful 2-star gem. We'll have to see and test it out once it actually does drop inside of the game. Havoc Bearer is the 1-star. Using a dash skill increases your damage by 18% and your attack speed by 4% for 2 seconds and can only happen once every 6 seconds. So not bad little 1-star that we got going on there as well, specifically for those of you that have those dash skill builds. And you're going to have the ability to try out the Golden Firmament 5-star gem. They always have the ability to try out the new gems, have you fall in love with them, so then you want to invest in that gem. That's the whole strategy right there. And we have the modified drop rate going on from December 13th through January 8th. Players will have the option to enable a modified drop table for their legendary crests when running Elder Rifts. Once enabled, whenever you receive a 5-star legendary gem as a drop, there's a 50% chance that it will be the new Golden Firmament gem. It's up to you if you guys want to do that drop rate. An additional drop table modifier will be available from the 13th through the 8th of January, where you can construct your own drop pool. You'll have the ability to handpick 15 5-star gems, 15 2-star gems, and 15 1-star gems that will make up your drop pool, allowing you to more easily acquire gems that you're interested in. This is actually pretty good. Being able to handpick the 5s, the 2s, and the 1s is just going to narrow down. It's going to get all of the ones that we have no interest in out of our drop table, and we won't have any chances of getting them, and we'll have better chances of getting the ones we want. But I mean, 15 5-star gems, I mean, how many are we really going to be able to cut out with 15 that we're focused on? Still pretty wide there. I would love it if this was something more like 5, 5, and 5. 15 is still very broad, probably going to still be difficult to get the ones that we actually want. Now, we have a new battle pass incoming called Astride the Abyss. Challenge you. So, okay, we can take a little peek right here at this as well, so we can see what the battle pass is going to look like. Pretty decent looking cosmetics. Actually, the helms look a little bit similar to ones we've seen in the past. Again, these are from the $5 battle pass. We can't expect that they are going to be like any others that we see, such as these ones right here, Born Ablaze, the new Phantom Market cosmetics. By the way, the battle pass is, I think we're like 10 days away or something from that new battle pass at this point in time. Yes, December 19th is when we're going to be able to drive into that new battle pass. I've completed my battle pass. We're already going beyond. Let me know where you guys stand with your battle pass progress as of right now. Now, Phantom Market, we know that these are the more expensive cosmetics inside of the game. I'm lucky enough that Blizzard gifts them to me, or has in the past at least, so that I could feature them on the channel and really kind of make my account look cool. I guess it's a thank you for making all the content that I do for them, which I deeply appreciate. This is going on from December 17th through January 14th. Honestly, it seems like there's a cadence now where there's always going to be a Phantom Market cosmetic available to players. Keep in mind, this is a drop table thing. It's like a gotcha mechanic inside of the game, but the odds of you getting the end game cosmetic are very slim, where you're most likely going to have to spend $170 to get what you're actually looking for. With that said, for the $170, you're going to get yourself the main cosmetic, 3 other cosmetics, 3 other cosmetic weapons, 2 different portals, and a whole bunch of other rewards as well. So it actually is quite, there's a lot that you're getting for the 170 bucks, but it's still $170, which is a lot of money for cosmetics inside of a game. I would take these types of monetizations over pay to win monetizations any day of the week in a game. Just saying. Here's the drop tables. They are very similar to what they have always been in the past. Basically, we're looking for this one right here, which we have a 0.13% chance of getting on our first draw. Odds get better as time goes on. If you happen to do these draws and you get the Born Ablaze cosmetic on your first try, please let me know in the comment section when that time comes. The Eternal War rages on. Essentially, they're going to be running this until the end of December, going until December 31st. They decided they wanted to, essentially, the best thing here is that we're getting more opportunity to continue crafting and to continue getting the Morn Skull gem. It's a great 2-star gem, one that I'm starting to build up and craft now. You need 43, I forget, 41 or 43 of these to actually craft a rank 10 of it. So right now is the best time for the next couple of weeks to try and run your Elder Rifts, to get those and craft them with your crafting materials with the Morn Skull gem, because once this is gone, that gem is no longer going to be available and only be able to be crafted with 4 Telluric Pearls. So if you want to take your Telluric Pearls and stop crafting 5-star gems and instead start crafting Morn Skull, you can, but that's a big cost in my opinion, so I'm going to try and craft as many as I can now since they've extended the event, which is actually great. We have Conqueror coming back to the game from December 13th through December 20th. Hungering Moon for more rewards for dungeons, etc. from December 14th through the 21st. Brumaltine is coming back. I love when Christmas comes to the game. We have the ability to give gifts to people. The whole game is themed out for Christmas. It really went so quickly. It feels like we just had this inside of the game. Essentially, from December 17th through January 7th, you can make offerings for continued warmth and safety during Brumaltine Limited Time Holiday. Each day, players can complete up to 3 daily tasks to engage for snow-dusted rewards and progress to gather Brumaltine prizes. So there's going to be another grind mechanic to get rewarded for stuff, which is great. And December 23rd, 4th, 5th, 30th, and 31st, and January 1st, players can log in to receive celebratory Brumaltine gifts, such as Fierce Training Emoji and Brumaltine Portrait Frame. That's pretty cool. Players can also participate in the Brumaltine tradition of trading greeting cards with friends, which is always nice. You log in, you give a bunch of friends, your gift cards for the holidays. You get small rewards for doing it. It's just a nice holiday gesture that's inside of the game. I'm wondering if this Brumaltine Portrait Frame is going to be something that is permanent or a 30-day thing. We'll have to see. It doesn't state it there. Wild Brawl is back from December 20th through 27th. Shady Stock is back for those green items from December 21st through December 28th. Alley of Blood returns from December 27th through January 3rd. And All Clans on Deck from December 28th through January 4th. There's more. The Fractured Plane is returning from December 24th through December 31st, and the Near Sighted and Chain Lightning modifiers active December 31st through January 7th. So it looks like they're going to have a little different bit of a mode there with some modifiers, which can make it a little bit more fun, a little bit more cool, a little bit more different. Trial of the Hordes, we have it going on inside of the game right now, and it's going to be returning from January 3rd through January 10th. Shields of the Hearth, this is January 4th through January 11th. Complete daily shields and earn Hearth's tasks. Again, another one of the in-game ways to do things and participate inside of the game and get rewarded for doing so. It's not actually a game mode. So now we have new legendary items, set items, and Paragon specializations. We knew that new Paragon levels were going to be coming because all of us are getting very close to having maxed out the current Paragon trees with the new Paragon tree system. I am not going to go through all of the essences here for the classes, but I will pause momentarily so you can pause at the class that's relevant to you. So we have the Barbarian, which is the class that I'm currently playing, the Blood Knight, Crusader, Demon Hunter, the Monk, Necromancer, Tempest, and Wizard. Now, they also have something here for set items. The Grip of Char, Concept's Wake, Fiery Pursuit, Shipmate's Coil, Teenius Ally, Reckless Ally, Wind Shaper's Duty, and Raven's Duty set items can only be found in Inferno 4 and higher. So it looks like there are going to be new set items coming to the game. And with all this talking, I need a quick sip of this coffee as we get down to more different set item details. Wildfire Imperative, 2-piece bonus. New set items here. Your Firestorm now becomes a Wildfire, increasing its damage bonus by 50% to 85%. 4-piece, Wildfire also conjures a Wildfire Tornado that drags nearby enemies to its center, dealing damage to all enemies within the area. Can occur more often every 6 seconds. And the 6-piece, Wildfire also grants you Fanning the Flames for 12 seconds, causing your non-burn attacks to deal wind damage, allowing them to trigger Wildfire. Fanning the Flames also reduces Wildfire Tornado's cooldown by 3 seconds. This can happen only once every 40 seconds. This actually seems like a pretty cool set, the Wildfire Imperative. I will say, the 6-piece bonuses on a 40-second cooldown, that seems so long. I typically only would go with a 2 or a 4-piece set of the majority of these sets because of the cooldowns when you start getting to 6-piece. Now, we have more Paragon levels. Let's take a look. We have Slayer. Let's see what this is about. I am going to go into the details of this because this is something that we could all be using no matter what builds we have. Proficiency. Primary attack and ultimate attack damage is increased by 7%. That's straightforward and nice. Vigor, primary attacks against the same enemy deal increasing damage up to a maximum of 10%. Tempo, damaging enemies with your primary attack increases your primary attack speed by 1% for 3 seconds, stacking up to a maximum of 10%. Up the tempo, tempo's primary attack speed bonus is increased by 2% to 4%, stacking to a maximum of 20%. So a lot of stuff for primary attacks right there. Collateral damage. The damage for secondary effects triggered from a primary attack are increased by 10%. Deterioration. Continual damage from your harmful effects is increased by 10%. Wow. Cripple. Your continual damage harmful effects also reduce the attack speed of affected enemies by 10%. Impair. Cripple's attack speed reduction is increased by 10% to 15%, so making Cripple even stronger. Rupture. Enemies suffering from 3 or of your continuous damage effects explode, dealing 32.5% base damage to all nearby enemies. Can occur more often than every 10 seconds. Contagion. When your continual damage harmful effects expire, there are 30% chance to spread up to 3 nearby enemies within 10 yards, but the damage they deal is reduced by 66%. Amplified shields increases the effectiveness of your shields and the shields you grant to allies by 10%. That's actually nice for some of you using Mount Bank. I could see some synergy there. Convergence. Gaining a shield reduces the cooldown of your non-dragging skills by 0.5 seconds. Can occur more than once every 10 seconds. Unwavering. Gaining a shield also makes you immune to the next 2 knockback effects. Can occur more than once every 10. Safeguard. When your shields expire, you have a 60% reduced damage for 2 seconds. Wow, a lot of shielding elements here. It's going to be crazy in PvP. And then Hope. Gain a shield every 30 seconds that absorbs equal damage to 50% of your maximum life for 6 seconds. So, man, this new set item, this new Paragon Slayer, I wonder if it's going to make its way into PvP. We will have to see. Then we have some more legendary skills. Remember, legendary skills are part of the Paragon as well. They have some additional ones. These ones each cost 80 Paragon points to unlock, and you can only activate one at a time, in addition to your other Paragon choices that you make. Death's Release. When your continual damage harmful effects expire, they explode, dealing 30% to their total damage to all nearby enemies. Shock Barrier. Gaining an absorb shield causes you to unleash a burst of energy, dealing damage to all nearby enemies equal to 30% of the shield's absorb value, up to a maximum of 40% of your base damage. And Overloaded. You periodically become overloaded, causing your next 5 primary attacks within 3 seconds to have a 60% increased primary attack speed. And this also can happen more often than every 20 seconds for that one. All right. Now we have a bunch of balance changes coming as well. I am not going to go through all of these. I will take a look at the Necro, though, because it seems to be the only one that got some changes specifically. Frigid Repose Bone Armor. Vortex of ice damage increased from 34.4 of your damage to 40. So that's got some increased damage. And Parting Gift from Bone Armor. The charges granted by Bone Armor now have an upper limit on the damage. They will block equal to 160% of your damage. This means particularly heavy single hits will cause some damage. All right, so a little bit of a buff there to the Necro. We have magic affects changes. All but the Endure magic effects balance changes are affected everywhere in Diablo Immortal. The Endure magic effects changes are effective only in PvP. Now, I am not going to go through all of these changes right here because it will be a bear to read through all of them, but I will slowly go through so that we can take a look and so that you could read through if you want to. This is something that I may do in a separate video because this one is already getting quite long. We don't need to go through every single one of these changes. So I'm going to show you as we go. We got a bunch for the Barbarian right here. This first right here are general changes. These are happening to all classes. Then we have changes to the Barbarian class, the Monk class, the Tempest, and that's it. Those are the ones that are getting those changes. Now we have some feature updates, a new progression system called Seeker's Path. Seeker's Path is a new progression system that will award you with Seeker ratings whenever you upgrade your 8 primary equipment slots, the Reliquary or Ancestral Tableau. As you gain rating, you'll passively earn combat rating, and once you reach certain milestones, you'll earn materials useful for further upgrading the Reliquary and primary equipment slots. Upgrading your primary equipment slots, Reliquary and Tableau, will no longer provide combat rating. Both the Reliquary and Tableau menus now be found within the new Seeker's Path menu. There are some additional changes that have been made to the Tableau because of Seeker's Path. Let's see what those are. The Tableau is no longer part of the Warband activity, and it unlocks upon reaching level 20. You do not need to be in a Warband to access it. See, that's another one for pushing for more casual players, so that a lot of casual players don't play in Warbands, so now they're going to be able to get part of that as well. Activity points, formerly called Warband activity points, can now be earned by completing the Defense of Cyanger, Purge the Depths, Bounties, Elder Rifts, Dungeons with Friends, Clans, or Warbands. Activity points can still be earned from completing these activities solo, but at a reduced rate. Every 300 activity points earned will automatically be converted to attributes and Seeker rating. The weekly cap for activity points has been removed. The rate at which your activity points will be converted is based on your character Seeker's rating in relation to your server Seeker rating. So this is something very new, and it does sound a little bit confusing, but we'll see what the developers have to say in their note. This change aims to help adventurers enhance their power more effectively. For those who are behind in progression, catching up on upgrading equipment, Reliquary and Tableau is extremely challenging, especially since participating in Warband activities is required to advance your Tableau. We've consolidated these 3 items into Seeker's Path and removed the restriction tying the Tableau to the Warbands. All right, again, it's a mechanic that's being added so that new players that come to the game are going to be able to progress and catch up with players that have been playing like myself since day one for over 2.5 years. Not a bad thing. Familiars. Ooh. Oh, check this out. Accursed Towers, Shadow Contracts, the Sanctum. These are familiar expeditions. We did see this leaked, and it actually is being confirmed as true right now. Looks like you could send out multiple of your familiars, it seems. Let's read through what they have to say. Familiars have now been added utility. At Nizza, the familiar vendor in Westmarch, you can send up to 4 bonded familiars to complete Accursed Tower Purification, Shadow Contracts, and the Sanctum through new familiar expeditions feature. The more familiars you send, the quicker they'll complete the task. While your familiars are hard at work repelling Hell's forces, you can play as normally would. They'll even continue their task if you exit Diablo Immortal. You'll receive rewards for completing these through as though you did it yourself. This is actually great. So it's not taking your your companion familiar, the one that goes around with you, because then you wouldn't have that familiar to attack or to collect resources that drop, but it's taking your 4 bonded familiars and it's sending them out, giving them some actual utility, which is quite nice. Let's just hope that we're able to still use the features that they have, like salvage and identify and things like that, if they're out on tasks. Hopefully we can still use those even if those bonded familiars are tasked out doing something else. A little bit more here. Now, only conversion will be used to upgrade your familiars. The melding option has been removed. There's no more melding. Wow, they're making it easier for these familiars. This is a good thing. Conversions guarantee 1 normal familiar or equal or better quality. The new normal familiar created from the conversion is bound to the player and cannot be sold. Ooh, okay. Any new summoned or purchased normal familiars are not tradable. Conversions have a small chance to create an additional aberrant familiar of equal or better quality. The evolution path and sell options for the familiars remain unchanged. A new skill tier has been added for normal familiars, Enhanced Rare. Enhanced Rare tier skills can be obtained from the conversion. Normal familiars can get enhanced rare skills and legendary traits, and normal familiars can unlock level 3 Outlook now. All right, so it seems that they're trying to make it easier. Familiars now have utility, which is a massive upgrade. I mean, no one's going to have to run these anymore. Shadow contracts, I don't run them ever. Now I can. I can get the rewards for that. There's more rewards daily from that. The Sanctum, that's awesome. And the Accursed Towers, being able to run those, this is just really nice that those are going to be able to be done for me just by my pets. It's a good thing. Magic Effects Reroll. If you have already upgraded all 8 of your primary equipment to rank 30, you can now use the enhanced feature at the blacksmith to reroll 1 magic affix on an item to replace it. Reliquary boss, class specific, and skill specific magic effects cannot be rerolled. This is nice. A lot of players have been complaining that those magic effects are just impossible to get. But now you can do a reroll. Hopefully it's not a one-time reroll, but you have to have that gear slot to level 30. So once your gear is all ranked up to 30, then you can start doing the reroll. Gem Resonance. The Gem Resonance system now unlocks at rank 4, giving you flexibility in socketing the gems you want, but old predetermined resonance gems are still needed to get the socketed bonuses. Socketed resonance gems will now temporarily contribute gem power to the primary gem when it is ranked up in progressive upgrade. If the same ranked up primary gem is socketable later, it will become dormant to prevent exploitation. Okay, I'm not sure if that's going to be a big deal or not, to be honest with you. I have to dive deeper into it. Legendary gems. Gem power extraction and transfer can now be used on 1 and 2 star legendary gems. Extending this feature to all legendary gems will now allow you to freely swap. This is so good. In the past, we could only take a 5-star gem. If we want to not destroy it, but make it dormant, pull all the power or most of the power out of it and put it into a new gem, we could do that with 5-star gems. But it was never doable with 1 or 2 stars. But now it can. So that if you change your mind, you could just swap the power back into the gem and you don't have to regrind that gem. Really good upgrade there for legendary gems. Normal gems. The number of normal gems acquired through the Gem Find Party bonus will now be tracked while in a group of 4 players, so you can see what kind of gems you're getting. Cool. Dungeons. Deciding to skip the dungeon intro cutscene will now automatically skip the cutscene for that dungeon for the rest of the week. Temple of Namari and all of these experience has improved. Oh, so we have better experience in Temple of Namari, Destruction's End, Mad King's Breach. Great. I guess they were having some bugs in those ones. Armory. A new armory has been added to Battleground and Tower War. When used, only the effects of essence transfer are retained for these PvP activities. Gems and items cannot be replaced. Armories have also received 2 updates. You can now save an activated Paragon spec without saving points. Cool. A new display mode that allows you to clearly view individual equipment and their names has been added. Very nice. The armory, again, another thing that can be a little bit wonky at times, especially if you're swapping classes. Happy to see changes coming there. Battlegrounds. We've made a handful of changes to honor labels, most damage, assists, etc. Extra points are awarded to members of the losing side of a match who receive honor labels. Honor labels will be more evenly distributed going forward. Each team will receive their own honor labels, and the points gained from honor labels will be displayed clearly in the post-match UI. So this is nice. You're gonna be able to get more rewards even if you are a loser, so that you are not getting as brutal of a loss, I guess, if you do lose. Reliquary. A new damage meter displaying the top 4 damage dealers has been added. More information about each player's performance can be viewed once the Reliquary battle concludes. I love this. Reliquary is something where you'll have some players that kind of lay low. They kind of go along with the team. They don't do anything. They die all the time. Now we're going to be able to give a little bit of a highlight to those that are the ones holding it down. The downtime and transitions for the following Reliquary bosses have been reduced by removing the life locks and adjusting triggers for spawns throughout the fight. All of these are getting a little bit of a rework, going to honestly make it quicker to take them down. Additionally, a spectator mode has been added to the Reliquary for downed allies to cheer on their comrades. That's awesome. When you die, you don't see anything. But now you're going to have a spectator mode, which will be nice. Prodigy's Path. 2 Prodigy's Path will now be available each quarter of the year. The first 2 under the new system will run from December 13th through January 27th and the 27th through March 30th. Free rewards will remain the same, but will be split across the Prodigy's Path. Premium rewards will also remain the same, but you may now earn twice the amount if you purchase the Prodigy's Path. Ooh. All right, so we're going to basically have more rewards. They're doubling the value of Prodigy's Path. That's it in a nutshell. Hero's Journey Reset. Dust off your trusty weapon. Hero's Journey chapters 1 through 6 reset on December 13th. And the first 4 chapters of the new Hero's Journey will be available. Begin completing them so you can earn the roving victory portrait frame. Once chapter 5 and 6 of the new Hero Journey become available, they'll let us know. Challenge Rift Season 10. The next Challenge Rift season will run from December 13th through February 17th. It adds levels 351 through 400, capping out at combat rating set 47,522, and lowers the difficulty for levels 331 through 350. This is good. I actually just got one more level on my Challenge Rift last night, and with the it getting a little bit easier, I'll be able to progress even further once the update happens. New Heraldric Bestiary entries. I'm currently sitting at 170 of 170. I've unlocked everything in the Bestiary. Now there's going to be more to do. New collectible entries have been added to the Bestiary to illustrate the histories of the Dreadbirth and Stormspawn Heliquary bosses. Gather Monstrous Essence to unlock them. Adventures Chronicle have been added. Look for them throughout Sanctuary. Very cool. Wing Awakening. The Wing Awaken system now requires 6,000 residents to unlock, down from 8K. The system has been reworked for the following, so you can now get residents in Wings quicker. 6K res unlocks the Wing Awakening system and 4 slots for gem res. 7K unlocks 8, 8K unlocks 12, 85 unlocks 16, 10K res unlocks Transcendent Wings, and 12K res unlocks Transcendent Wings Sacred. Upon reaching the maximum resonance, you'll gain this Swift Heaven bonus, which increases your movement speed in safe zones. Oh man, that's pretty cool. I like that. You get some free additional inventory and stash space. Short on space from the coveted drop you just received, activate the Blizzard authentication feature. So essentially they're giving us a way to authenticate our accounts. It's going to further secure our accounts from being stolen, which is great. And from doing that, we're going to receive an additional row of inventory and stash space while it is enabled. Not only that, it's going to keep our accounts safe. Guys, this is a massive update. This is something I will probably dive in even more depth about in an upcoming video very soon. Plus, again, we are going to be live playing through all of this stuff on Friday, probably starting around 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. I hope to see all of you there. Hope you're excited about this. I know that this update has been one that we've been waiting for a while. It's only 2 days away.